Made in India, made for the world. This has been the resounding philosophy at ManageEngine, a brand that is redefining enterprise IT management for Indian and global businesses across industries. Enabling IT leaders to reset businesses and simplify digital transformation worldwide.
Hello and welcome to BizAneKdotes presents Master Reset, partnered by Times Now. In structuring their IT strategies, organizations seem firmly focused on managing risks on the one hand, while minimizing costs on the other. So how have a CIO's priorities evolved? And what is the need of the hour for new age businesses seeking IT support? Well, these are all complex questions and they deserve to be approached from a 360-degree perspective. And fortunately, I'm joined by a highly distinguished panel of subject matter experts to help me do just that. Please allow me to introduce our guests. We have with us Manager Strategic Accounts APAC, ManageEngine Zoho, Praveen Das. Head IT and Business Applications, Tata Advanced Systems, Yogesh Kumar. Leader Global Technology Services and India Technology, TMF Global, Sajid Chakingal. So Praveen, I'd love to kick off the conversation with you. And my first question is, what are some of the leading challenges that today's enterprises face in the context of managing their technology footprint?
Right. See, the challenge starts from basic inventory. When I say inventory, today if you take a BFSI or for that any manufacturing sector or anything, identifying where when the inventory of the system itself is a complex. And the pandemic has added a fuel to it. Now the entire employee who is working within the organization has moved to the office network, right? So let's say providing some services to their endpoints or issuing a new endpoint becomes a bigger problem today because of this
Sure.
COVID. So the next thing is right now there are a lot of services that are depend upon the infrastructure components like within your data center, like your network server, database, applications, right? So having a seamless proactive approach or a security approach to that itself is a kind of a challenge in many enterprise organizations.
And with that, I come to you, Yogesh, because my understanding is that Tata Advanced Systems is a leading manufacturer of critical aerospace and defense applications and solutions. And what I'd love to understand is how have you designed and deployed a digital transformation strategy within the four walls of your organization?
So, be it anything, whether it is a security or digital transformation or anything, first and foremost is to decide for how many numbers, for how much, what is the size. So when we talk about the size, we should have clear cut inventory with us, and clear cut inventory is definitely required from all the standpoint of view. We have to first check the environment, and we have to review it properly. What is required as of now? What is our strategy, overall business strategy? A digital transformation strategy cannot be rolled out rightly by IT directly. It should be seen from the business angle. So we had gone through that business requirements, discussed with various stakeholders what is the what are the pain points, what do they need as a digitization strategy for them. So first we analyzed the environment, then we studied the maturity of the organization itself. What is the digital transformation maturity? If organization is mature enough, we can put 10 things into the place. But if they have just started, we have to put one single case, and we have to digitize it. Then we have to roll it out properly, reap out the benefit out of it, and present it properly to the management.
TMF Global is focused on simplifying administrative services for a whole range of corporates, many of whom fall in the financial services space. So, for a conglomerate of your size, how has IT been an enabler?
I think the complications are there itself in the question, right? We are a company with 9,000 plus experts on the ground, spread across 85 countries globally, and with 120 plus offices, and we do a lot of critical administrative services for our customers. From a technology perspective, it's our aim to create something on the core, which not only just meets today, of course, the complications of today, but it also demands the business to step into tomorrow. That means, to just put it into context, just like an access of anytime, anywhere, any device, from with all the security measures in place. And we are looking at technologies which can really perform cross functionally, which we have some set goals which can help achieve. And not just looking at technology as an acquisition, more and more putting more and more technology as an acquisition, but creating a value based system from the technology, or the outcome based system from technology, right? And the mantra which
Absolutely.
I follow is very simple. Just move away from a pure technology vision, and bring a focus on more holistic approach. Look at the service, what business focuses are, what are the various technologies which we can deliver services in a specific cost, very effectively, very scalable, with efficiency, all that great things to have in life, right? In a technology life, that's what we look at. And it's all about creating a fully blown up digital experience, not just for our internal employees, but for our external customers as well. And in our case, it need to be really, really beyond the geographical boundaries or the technical boundaries. And that's what we look at it. And that's how we really become a good enabler for our business.
Well, Praveen, coming to you now and building on some of Sajid's observations, I think most enterprises have come to terms with the fact that there is no dodging the digital highway. However, the complexity of it all can still overwhelm corporates, therefore, essentially delay the digital transformation process in parallel. So, my question to you is, how at ManageEngine do you attempt to address these realities?
Digital transformation is directly proportional to the maturity of their IT practice. And of course, the IT practice are unique to every organization. You take a BFSI and compare with the manufacturing. I guess Sajid is still nodding, so I can he can agree with me that the maturity of IT is more in banking sector compared to an industry or manufacturing sector. So at ManageEngine, what we do is we bring on solutions which can very well go within the organization. For example, let me put a skeleton to an organization. Let's say you take any organization for the matter. You have your employees, you have your data center, and then you have your services or your customers. So ideally, these three leg grows, the organization grows. So what in managing what
Sure.
we have done is we have stacked up solutions which can focus on end user management or end user computation, data center management and operations, and then analytics on top of it. So ideally, we bring different solutions where we bring on more in contextual based integration so that we kind of bring more automations into IT so that the business leaders can shift their focus from IT to business.
Absolutely. And Yogesh, give me a sense of how you believe the customer's priorities have evolved. What do they care most about? Is it cost optimization? Is it digital transformation? Is it seamless 24 by 7 operations? How have these priorities evolved and how do you anticipate they'll continue to evolve going forward?
Optimization, digital transformation, availability of services, quality of services, all these are the things which goes hand in hand. Cost optimization, if you shrink the cost and you are leveraging onto the quality perspective, or you are giving less priority to the services, then certainly cost optimization doesn't work. So the industry is looking at all. We have to go onto a digital transformation strategy. But yes, keeping pandemic into the situation, the organization has to survive. So nowadays you see that a lot of iteration has come in terms of employees itself. Lot of services prices have gone way beyond. So at this point of time, it will be very difficult to optimize, shrink the cost, but and having quality services. The final thing that is very important is the security. How
Right.
how are you putting your assets into the secure mode? what is the guarantee that the information is secured? How do you take care of these services? So nowadays that everybody understand that nobody can 100% guarantee it, but at least there should not be something that we have just kept open the doors and invited everybody to hack it, right? So there must be sufficient measures taken care.
Well, Sajid, there's no denying the fact that managing one's technology footprint is as capital intensive as it is time intensive. It can certainly detract from the day-to-day functioning of the business. So, how have you attempted to address this at TMF Global? What's worked for you?
Earlier it was like pre 2019, pre COVID, it was like operating and improving, right? Your
Right.
strategy and your operation. And after 2019 it came in, you need to manage a crisis, you need to keep the operations on, and then you need to improve. So one step got added into the to the complexity of the technology management. And but all these things goes hand in hand, to be honest. You can't keep these three four things separate and move forward and create a great good looking palace or a great thing for us in technology. It can't happen. All these key things are aligned together. And what I believe is the transformation roadmap is all about improving your current operations, keeping in the right context of business, and putting or building efficiency, and of course to get a better capability in managing the outcome, to manage the crisis, right? So these are all the things which need to go hand in hand. And we have been looking at reducing the issues what you're talking about, right? The day-to-day functional issues what it comes. So look at a lot of standardizations across cross technology services, how things can how if there are similar issues happening in two or three different spaces, how you can put those things together, bring a consolidation strategy together, when especially when in a global context, how you bring things together to perform well, that thereby reducing the operation burden, not just the cost but in terms of people as well. So just look at reducing those burdens, right? And there are also positives. This is one of the complications while you deal with a global operation, but there are a lot of positive as well. So we recently have looked at in the technology space, we have looked at our spread. We have, as I said, we are spread across 85 odd countries. We have people across all the world, and we have been looking at a successful operation to build up a 24 bar 7 support, just across the sun. So it's reduced the burden from people to people, but it can but still the services can continue, right? And how we can effectively support um, some set of our operations, business, and customers, etc., etc. So that it's all about how you align these things together. There is no one size fit all kind of an approach for this this methodology.
Given that a company's needs vary according to industry, age, and stage of their growth cycle, to what extent does ManageEngine provide customized solutions that are truly
Okay.
in line with the company's specific needs?
We are from Zogo Corporation, and ManageEngine, it's one of its own division, right? So we started this business in 1996 with almost started with 5 employee, and today we are almost with 12,000 plus employee, having more than 12 data centers across the globe, and we have more than 10 offices in different continents, and we cater almost like 60 million users on the cloud, and 200,000 customers using ManageEngine product, right? And all these are like so there is also a saying that Zogo runs on Zogo, which means we don't buy solutions outside. We use Zogo products for our email, everything, and we manage our data center with managing solutions. So ideally, when we are very small, we had the same concept, and today we are like 12,000 plus employees. We are also using the same product. So ideally, the answer is in ManageEngine, we offer more than 90 plus solutions, like 50 are free and 40 are paid. And that 40 is being bifurcated into various business verticals like IT service management, unified endpoint management, IT operations, identity and access management, IT security. Now, within all these bundle, business verticals, there are 5 to 6 products, and there is also a bundle solution. So, for example, if a customer wants only a specific module, they can choose it. Or if they're going for more than one module, they can go for the bundled offering, just enable those two module license alone, which brings those two modules under single umbrella. So, and also we have a concept like pay for what you want to use. So since there is a slab based license structure, and are also individual point products and bundled product, and long story short, we fit into both small, medium, and enterprise segments. So we give the privilege to the customer to choose what they want. Right?
Well, Yogesh, I'd like to come to you now for your perspective. And I'd love for you to answer how Zoho and ManageEngine specifically is distinguished and what differentiates it from other IT service providers in the marketplace today.
ManageEngine definitely has a strong foothold onto the asset management, incident management, and the desktop central that they have come up. So, in order to have a remote desktop management and resolving the problems on the fly. So now they are coming up with the chatbot. So I hope that that would become a good differentiator for the others also. When it comes again to the security or any data management, so asset is the first priority. So we, with the help of ManageEngine, we were able to manage out different assets, and we have many things which are given on the temporary basis, on project basis, on or there are procurements, there are the things that are procured on rental basis. So different categorization option they have given.
I'd like to come to you, Sajid, and for the benefit of our viewers, help me understand what makes ManageEngine the platform and partner of choice for you.
So we have our major lookout of strategy in terms of how do we do a anytime, anywhere, any device access, right? That's been our strategy mantra towards while we are providing the core tech foundation to our users, our employees. And then that's when this COVID and all that stuff started in. And of course we never flinched from our strategy, what we want to do, and we kept on going because it was pretty much aligned, in terms of what we are looking. And any tool or any product from an IT leadership, when we look at it, is how it does it align to your strategy, right? How does it can help you to achieve your roadmap? That's something which we look at, and that's when the Zoho ManageEngine team could help us. So the one important thing which I would like to highlight here is all about the management of those remote devices. It has been a problem for us in terms of managing it well, in terms of patching, in terms of how you keep it updated, when and especially when in office. But when people moved to remote, it became more and more complicated, right? Everybody's sitting wherever they want, and they expect IT to step into their laptops and or the desktops what they use, and manage them, sir. So that was the expectation, and there is no harm in it, right? Because that was the need of the demand of the situation, whatever you want to call it, right? And that's where I had a pretty good discussion with the ManageEngine leadership, and said, okay, how we can manage it. And of course we looked at how that could help us. And trust me, I can say that it has really reduced our turnaround. It has taken away a big headache from us, how to manage, keep it much better, and it is pretty much aligned to our strategy, what we are looking at or what we are trying to enable at, especially when you want to have people sitting in 90 countries and operating from home, right? So look at the scale. Might not be big in numbers, but very very large in spread. That's how it helped us to align into our strategy, and of course not just the strategy, but in terms of operations as well. Go back to my question number two, which you asked me, right? How do you do that surgery? So that's how the value add comes in from the team. So I'm quite happy that we could handle it well, and it is well aligned to our strategy. And of course, looking forward.
Fantastic. And my next question, switching gears a bit, is for all three panelists. And Praveen, I'll start with you. I think most would agree that the objective of any enterprise's IT strategy is essentially to improve the business's most critical functions and also to increase ROI. So, how have cutting edge technologies like big data, machine learning, and artificial intelligence come to your rescue in that regard?
So when we talk about AI and ML based, right? Let's say, take a case of a security front, right? Let's say I'm a user who's sitting in India and I have a colleague who's sitting in Europe. Of course, our operational hours are different, our holidays are different, and the activity that we do is totally different. Now, with the help of this ML and AI, we kind of, detect these kind of patterns, set a baseline, so that if there is any kind of, unusual behavior is happening, any anomaly, we used to detect that. So, for example, let's say a Europe guy is logging at Indian business hours, and he doesn't have anything to do with the database thing, but he tries to, take a lot of database backup, which gets failed. So there's an unusual activity. So with Manage Engine, we have come up with user and entity behavior analysis to understand what is the normal time the user logins, what are the activities that we do, and set up a weightage to that, set up a baseline to that, and if there is any anomaly that gets detected, the solution immediately alerts the owners that there is some anomaly, right? Similarly, we are coming also with the chatbot, right? Where it can proactively check whether any related incidents are there, any knowledge base is there, so that it can give you much more foreign information. And then if there is any kind of other problem that is already existing with these incidents, it can denote you. So there are a lot of AI and ML based technique which we are coming up with, and which is already around, which tells you the anomalies and everything.
AI/ML is definitely a technology to be adopted by every organization, and one or the other way, the people are using it. The kind of precision technology we need if some missile has to be launched, so then it has various parameters, thousands of parameters it carries, and we cannot just leverage that. We cannot tolerate that 1% of or 2% of miss out is there, because it can really damage onto the ground. So we use precision time instead of the time, NTB time. So there is a precision time which is calculated in nanoseconds or microseconds. What becomes difficult for any organization to adopt, specifically for the defense organization, to build up the infrastructure. So AI/ML technology needs a good amount of infrastructure, including the graphical interfaces or GPU.
My view is very simple. You either you change or you will be changed. That's that's
Yes,
that's how these technologies are, right? And
definitely.
either or the other, you will be asked to do it. And of course there'll be new and new technologies coming as well, and this is not going to be the end of the world, or you're going to hit the end of the road. Any technology which will be adopted or will be forced to adopt when it delivers an outcome which is expected or go beyond expected, right? So that's how the technologies are, so and today it is big data, blockchain, ML, it could change in next few years, and I'm sure I can't be an astrologer here to predict what it could be, but that's going to change. That's a fact. Right? And it's all about the value chain or the value based outcomes, what these technologies can bring into the business, in terms of efficiency, in terms of cost savings, in terms of scalability, all that great things what we would like to see. So what I see is the industry will become more and more agile towards this change, and will be fastly adopting this, digital and new age technologies.
Well, I think that makes for a wonderful note upon which to close. I have to thank all of our panelists for sharing such a rich range of insights from their personal and professional journeys. And with that, our special feature, Biz Anecdotes presents Master Reset, partnered by Times Now, comes to a close. Thanks for watching.